Hello people and welcome to episode 17! So, I've been doing a little bit of work, doing some digging and some, placing of blocks and whatnot. As you can see, I've been laying some line. Oh, but for what? You're about to see, actually. Let me just, there we go, seal that up. And you've seen a little bit ahead, but who cares? That just stays between you and I. So, hopefully, yes, excellent. Hello? You mind actually bothering to connect? If not, I will force you to connect. There we go. So, let's get that. Let's set up a filter. Compost. Save. Auto on because whatever. And let's store more compost. And it'll be just kind of constantly doing that. Until our little friend upstairs, actually I need to remove a waypoint. I was just doing that to kind of help myself. Boing! Let me go upstairs. I should probably set up another elevator upstairs, actually. It'll certainly make things simpler. So, I know, I'm doing it dangerously. That's how I like to live. So, this thing should be seeing fertilizer any minute now. And here it comes! Okay, that's actually kind of cool. But, what does this thing need mostly? Well, other than light. I just like watching it go. But other than light, it needs water. Because it needs water to kind of turn all of this into liquid form that it can spray onto the crops. So we're going to get our reservoir. I'm going to fill it up with exactly 2 buckets of water, and it should, yep, there we go. And we'll refill our water buckets while we're at it. Right click, and it should be outputting. And now the fertilizer will occasionally use up. As you can see, that little green particle effect means that it's working. And it is now accelerating our crops' growth by quite a lot. Like, I'm not even joking when I say that this is just like tons faster now. And you can see the area of effect here, which is very handy. So it's not accelerating all of the crops. I probably should have put it right like here or something, but it's not a huge issue really. If I want, I can bump it up with a better engine, like a steam engine or something. Not a huge deal. But it massively improves crop growth rates because it does not use bone meal effects. Unlike the fertilizer from MFR and other things of that nature, it works more like a watering can in that it accelerates a plant's growth ticks. So, with the growth ticks thusly accelerated, we now move on to the second phase of our lovely little scheme. And this involves, number 1, sleeping. To get rid of all the nasty things outside. And then let's go downstairs and see just how well it's running. Boing. 206 extra canola seeds. And this thing is running with a 4-to-1 gearbox, because that's, how much yeah. 1800 Tesla. Micro Tesla. And that one's got 1900 left, so that one's going to be running for a while. Now, I could have done the fertilizer with the skeleton crops, but honestly, the composter is just a lot easier to manage. Once you get yeast automated, it's just, like, done. Like, friggin' done, man. And there is one unfortunate thing about these fuel lines. It's both good and bad. They can store a ridiculous amount of jet fuel on them. Unfortunately, this means that if you accidentally break it or if something blows up, you can lose a lot of fuel, which is not something we want. Losing a lot of fuel is a pain in the ass. Again, not something we particularly want. So, with that done, we will need to actually kind of wait for this to fill up, because I don't think they'll use that much lubricant, but at the same time, it kind of needs to work. And honestly, I don't think this is going to work, so I'm just going to kind of get rid of them to kind of free up a little bit of space to make this place less cluttered. There we go. It was a good idea, but honestly, I don't really think I need to automate them. They last an incredibly long time. There we go. That saves us some space, opens things up a little bit, less jumping needs to be done. Wonderful things. So, we're going to jump upstairs here. We'll put our crap in there. We'll probably use those later for various and sundry. Holy crap, that's a lot of coal. Cool. Coal will be useful later. Well, hell, coal's useful now. But you know what I mean. Anywho, let's see how this thing's grinding along. It's doing rather well. So, now that we've got that out of the way, what we're going to need to get this running contains a 4 times multiplier. I have no idea what the hell that is. But, what we're going to need is a couple of sets of induction generators and induction motors. So, I'm going to get the components I need to make that, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, and I've got what we need to make our induction generators. Real quick, all they really need is nickel, base plates, impellers, or an impeller, copper, tin, steel, and generators. Generators require shaft cores and gold coils. And you see, gold coils are pretty easy. Just steel, 8 gold, or electrum if you happen to have more electrum than gold. And shaft cores we already know how to make. So, with that done, copper, tin, so copper, tin. And I'm doing it this way because ElectriCraft is kind of derpy with things that can be used with the ore dictionary. So let's see here, we're going to need 4 silver, 4 copper. Oh, let's get bam, 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 bam. Copper, 4 silver. Copper. No, wrong thing, idiot. 4 base panels. Got that. Need 2 shafts. Or 2 shaft cores. And 4 gold coils. So this does require a reasonable amount of gold. But, it's not terribly expensive. Yeah, you can see your silver. Okay, yeah, I got it. So silver, copper, that, coils, and then the base panels. And got ourselves some induction motors. Now then, while this goes about working, because we really do need, like I said, a lot of lubricant just to start off. because water wheels require lubricant to function. Like, they won't break or anything if they don't have lube, but they also will not function if they do not have lubricant. So, you know, either which way you go, you're gonna need it. Anywho, a quick rundown on how ElectriCraft kind of works. ElectriCraft, well, actually let me get upstairs so I can kind of recharge my crap, and while I'm doing that, I again shall tell you how things kind of work. Let's see here. ElectriCraft, the induction generator runs off of rotational power in ElectriCraft. Rotational power, I'm sorry, in RotaryCraft, and therefore, there we go. And therefore turns it into ElectriCraft electricity. What the hell is this? I think that's specifically for, industrial craft, there we go. But anywho, speed in RotaryCraft translates to voltage in ElectriCraft. You need 8 rads per second to get 1 volt. And anything other than a superconductor loses a certain amount of voltage for every block or meter of wire that you use. Superconductors don't have any loss, but they also need to be filled with coolant, which as you can see is either liquid nitrogen or gelid cryothium. Not too much of a pain in the ass. It does require blast glass, so you do need a pulse jet furnace to get it working. Or you can put it into a filling station, but I think the transposer would probably be better because it can work with cryothium. Cryothium is arguably easier to get than liquid nitrogen. It requires a few things like it requires ice. It requires a refrigeration unit. It requires a way to make ice renewable, which is honestly not that hard. It requires a little bit of RF if you do it with thermal expansion like I plan to. And another note about liquid nitrogen is that is what you need to run the converter engines that convert things like RF, EU, and steam into RotaryCraft shaft power. You need liquid nitrogen, which is honestly, and I think you put dry ice, which is a byproduct. You don't always get it, but you can put dry ice into a fluid crystallizer, and I think you can get ice out of that, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, you need a refrigeration unit, you need ice, it's just blah 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 blah. For some, making cryothium would be a lot easier, because just cryothium dust, snowball, saltpeter, redstone, blizz powder you can make by putting snowballs into a fluid transposer with destabilized redstone. It does take a little bit, but it depends on who you ask whether or not it's worth it. Anywho, and I completely went off on an effing tangent there, and I apologize for that. But amperes, the current from or for ElectriCraft is related to the torque that you put into the induction generator. And wires can only hold so much amperage. As you can see, the platinum wire, if we were to use wires, which we are not going to, because again we need to preserve all the energy we can, because again we need 4 megawatts of power to run the bedrock breaker. It can do the maximum current we need, but anything else, and I think the wires would melt, and they may or may not drop ingots or something. I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, and oh wow, it also requires tungsten. And getting a friction here up to that temperature is rather difficult, unfortunately. And normally tungsten flakes are, I think, a drop from either iron or redstone ore when put through an extractor. So, just a heads up with that. And, the induction motor does the exact opposite. It turns ElectriCraft power back into shaft power. ElectriCraft also has a couple of useful things, notably the RF transfer cables. These are Mind Tweaker recipes I added in. And I may reduce the output to just one per crafting. I don't really know, but normal recipe you get 16, but it requires blast glass. And is very expensive. But the great thing about RF transfer cables, I don't think they really have a upper limit on how much they can transfer. Like, you can specify values up into the hundreds of thousands of RF per tick, which, as you might guess, is very useful if you happen to be using ElectriCraft to, make tons of power, which you can totally do, which is awesome. But yeah. The batteries, again, they can store and output a lot of power. RF energy crystals require walls, which nether stars, which needs procyon, which needs that and that and that, and it's just, oh my god, there's a lot of shit there. Diamond and lapis dust, quartz, glowstone, redstone, blah 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 blah. But yeah, the redstone energy crystals, or I'm sorry, the RF energy crystals are very expensive. However, the RF energy batteries, as you can see, the TRF stands for Tera RF, which means trillions of RF. That's the biggest energy storage I can think of. That I know of, rather. So that's a massive amount of storage in one block. So if you can manage to get the bedrock alloy, the tungsten, the steel, the inductive ingots, and, the nether star for the energy crystals, well worth it. And I don't think they have any upper limit on how much they can transfer. Now then, how do batteries work? Well, you put the battery down, it'll accept electricity from any side but the top. And it will output power from the top at the power level specified if it's receiving a redstone signal. So yeah, not all that much of a problem. The transformer, I think it's kind of like an electric gearbox, basically, but the efficiency of it goes down the greater ratios you use. Like, for example, if you were to use a 64:1 ratio, which I just tested for shits and giggles, if it doesn't explode, which it can, and very, very violently, or ridiculously violently, it only works at 63% efficiency. Kind of a pain. So, now that I've jawed your ear off, I'll be back in just a minute, because I need water and or coffee. And I return! Can't decide between water and coffee? Why not get both? I'm also gonna apologize, I completely forgot to do this, for two things. Number one, I could have been making progress toward the hydrokinetic generators while I was, kind of screwing off, but, well, I didn't think of it. Spring steel, so I need coke, redstone, and steel. Let's just get a stack of coke, stack redstone, stack steel. Simple enough. And we need to take these out, but no, these in. Steel and redstone. And that should effing work. 900. Oh shit, it needs a lot more heat than it's currently got. That's damned inconvenient of it. Well then, I guess I got a new project on my hands. Fun! But, and also, if this is too loud, I'm currently having issues with audio. Like, it's not very loud on my end, or at least the audio from Minecraft isn't. Actually, wait a minute. Did I? No? Okay. The volume's not messed up. So again, if the audio here is really loud for you, I apologize for that. That is really not my intent to kind of blow your friggin' eardrums, but, you know. Sometimes just can't help it. Anywho, so we need to get our thing up to 950 degrees Celsius before we can even consider making a hydrokinetic generator. How are we going to do that? Simplest, most brute force way possible. And actually, you do need to do it this way anyhow. We're going to need another friction heater. So, we're going to get ourselves 2 shafts. I think it's 2 base panels, yes? 2 base panels, yes. 2 base panels. And some steel. And that gives us that. Now then, how are we going to power this thing? How have we been powering everything recently? I can't get enough of these things. They're just so damned useful. They output good power. They require very little in the terms of maintenance. They're an all-around pleasure to use. Let's see, we need redstone. 2 base panels, and a shaft. Put those together, what do you got? An AC electric engine. Hell yeah. Let's, let's make some shaft cores, because we gonna need some for later, I would imagine. Get the one, put it in here. There we go. Alright then, now all we need is a timer. Easy enough to get. And I got Derby. So with the timer, we're just gonna need some conductive plates. Do I have no anodes, okay. I need some anodes. Gonna need to make a cathode. And a pointer. Get in there. There we go. And a timer. There we are. That's all she wrote. So all we need to do is get ourselves, let's put this here. Always handy to have a little bit of cobble on hand, obviously, just in case you need it. So let's just put, damn it, there we go. As you can see, it will not go vertical. And also, if you have a shaft core anywhere in your inventory, this will turn. This can disrupt any currently running AC engines, and it doesn't really output that much power anyway. So we're gonna, and there we go. That should be cranking that shit right on up. Yeah, look at that temperature rising like a boss. Let's see here. I need spring steel, yes? Yes. What does that require? 950. I should get to it pretty easily. At least I hope. If not, well, all I have to do is wait for another thing to magnetize and, you know, just put on another friggin' friction heater. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna do that. Let's get our thing set up here. Let's make another friction heater, shall we? We need 2 base panels, 2 shafts. You need another core for that, and 3 Hisla. That there, that along the bottom, that along the top. And that gets us another friction heater. Let's get that kind of positioned correctly. There we are. Another thing to note about the AC engines is don't have them like one right next to the other. Always have at least a single block between them. And this is just to, you know, prevent them from magnetically interfering with each other, which they can do. So we get ourselves a shaft, a redstone, yes, a redstone, yes, and let's, okay, I got enough circuit plates then. Make ourselves another timer. Let's put that in there. Let's get that lined up as it should be. Yes, excellent. Let's make ourselves another timer, shall we? And yes, I am having way too much fun with these AC engines. I love them so much. And got our 3 conductive thingies. Need to make another set of anodes. Pointer, and cathode. And we got ourselves another timer. So much fun. We go downstairs. How far is this thing gone? 29 microteslas. That's not that much, really. I wonder if there's a way to kind of beef that up, make it faster. Well, actually, I think faster shaft speeds would, improve it. But let's just kind of get that. We're gonna go upstairs here. Gonna put our shaft core in there. Thankfully, these things seem to demagnetize very slowly. Why is this thing always resetting its temperature when I put the thing? That's weird. But that should heat it up really quickly. Come on, get us to 950. You've got 2 friggin' friction heaters on you. 894, 897. Oh god, they're not gonna combine, are they? No, they're not. Because that's not how it works. Excuse me, I'm a complete moron. Oh, shit. You know, I said I wouldn't cheat, and I've been keeping to that, but I'm calling mulligan on that one. That's kind of BS. I don't really know why the hell that happens. It's really annoying. But yeah. Don't tell anyone. Oh, crap. Whoops. Forgot. They interfere with each other. So let's get our diamond pick. Let's get that. Let's get this. We're gonna need a few things here. Gonna need some shaft junctions. I don't know why this one specifies steel. Can you upgrade them with bedrock dust? Actually, that might actually work. That's something to note. Alright then, well, might as well, just in case. So we're gonna plonk this out here. Get our shaft junctions. Where the hell's my screwdriver? Screwdriver, there you are. Alright then. So we're gonna shaft junction. It's all lined up perfectly. Gonna get our AC engine. Gonna get our shaft core. No, don't put an induction motor in it, you moron. Let's get some red alloy wire, which we shall use to transmit our signal. And we'll get the other AC engine and the other shaft core. Hopefully these two don't interfere with each other. They shouldn't. And let's get ourselves a timer. And they should both be turning now. And this thing should be heating up a lot. Haha! Yes, yes, yes. Hell yeah! Ah, that's better. 990 degrees Celsius. That'll work. That will friggin' work. Yeah. I love it when I do things right. And like I said, these things don't tend to demagnetize very quickly, which is good. Which is good. We don't need this or this anymore, because that doesn't work that way anyway. So, now that we've got that, and it should work faster now that it's hotter. So we're going to get our steel, going to get our, no, not bones, redstone, and a stack of coke. We're going to take this rubbish out of here. We're going to put our coke, our steel, and our redstone in there, and that should get us excellent spring steel. There we go. And while we're waiting for that, let's make a stack of coal blocks. There we go. We've got thousands of coal anyway, so why not turn a bunch of it into coke? Which we'll do after this thing has made our spring steel, which we will use to make our water wheel. Alright then, tin. We need to make more cans to store more of our friend creosote. You know, I wish you could turn creosote oil into lubricant. You can do that with BuildCraft oil, which is why I did the whole thing with the magical crops and the mine tweaker. In fact, do I have? I should have. Yeah, I got some oil seeds. Managed to make some. So we will be making ourselves a few little oily friends. And let's see, let's get our essence of oil out so I can show you how it works. What you need to do is put this into a fluid transposer. It gives you 50 millibuckets of oil, so it's not a lot. Not a lot of oil you're going to be getting for your essence. So you're going to need a lot of it. I have the ink sac there because the tweaker script, I couldn't get it to work without having a secondary drop. So I just put it at 0%, so you know, you're never going to see it. It's just kind of there. I wonder if it shows. Yeah, refinery, who cares? Okay, I guess it doesn't. So, let's go put that in there. This. That. Boing. Surveying, cosmetic utility, maybe? Reservoir, block fan, blah, 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 bucket filler. Food, pneumatic item pump. No, not that. Not farming. Well, maybe processing? Fuel enhancer. You can use this, by the way, the fuel enhancer, to turn BuildCraft fuel into jet fuel. But you still need magma cream, blaze powder, netheric dust, and tar. And it still requires a lot of speed. So, yeah. Just a note. Liquid distillery. Convert one fluid type to another. Yes, I believe that's what we need. This thing needs a fair amount of torque. 2,048 Newton meters. 800 watts of it. So, as you can see, 1 millibucket of oil turns into 6 millibuckets of lubricant. And you can turn ethanol, which I think is forestry ethanol, into ethanol for rotary craft, which I think you have to put through a fluid crystallizer to get the ethanol crystals. And you can use biofuel, which is from Mine Factory Reloaded, and turn it into ethanol crystals as well, which we might do, actually. That sounds interesting. But we'll probably want to put the fluid crystallizer up really high, so it's, nice and cold. Because it needs to be. And that you can also use the fluid crystallizer to make ice out of water. Does it require? Yeah, 1024 rads a second, 2048 watts. It doesn't require that much power. That just sounds disgusting. But, centrifuge. Basically like a forestry centrifuge, but cooler, because it's rotary craft. But yeah, that's about it for the introduction for that particular bit. Let's see here. Actually, I'll get the coal out later. Don't really need it right now. What can I do? Oh, I know what I can do while I'm waiting for all of this to just kind of, work. I'm gonna go to sleep if I can. Hopefully. Nope, of course not. Because there are monsters. There's monsters. There they are, 670 meters. So, I'm gonna pause this here, and I'll be back when I show you some friends I found. And here we have the remains of my creation of the thing. The thing that allows you to make the unstable ingots. Division sigil, there we go. And it's all on fire, which is funny. So, we're going to make our way to Crimson Cultists. Now, these guys don't screw around. They really do not. But they're still incredibly fun to kill. But, you see, there's a bit of a problem with them. Or at least with the ones I have here, because as you can see, there's an Eldritch thingy there where they spawn, but there's also an Eldritch thingy there with an Eldritch effing Guardian. Those things are obscenely dangerous. And you really, really do not want to screw with them. Unless you're, deep into Thaumcraft. But see, you just whack them. And I think you can get... Oh, shit! I think you can get really good drops out of them, too. Ow! But they also light you on fire, which is damned inconvenient. Like, I've gotten, come here. I want to play whack-a-mole. Come on! Yeah. Anywho, I've gotten some really good stuff out of them for Thaumcraft. Oh, ow, 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 no. No, 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 no. Ow. Nice try, asshole. As you can see, you can get Crimson Cult stuff. Gives you a little bit of a V discount. I don't know what warping does. So, and I have warp disabled at any rate, so, again, I don't really know what it does. It might do something cool, might not. But, these guys, if I can kill enough of them, also drop a few other interesting things. I'm not exactly sure. Oh my god. Hit! Hit, damn you! There we go. Now I started dealing some friggin' damage. Yeah, the Void Seeds. Again, don't really know what the Void Seeds do, but, Holy crap, that's a lot of, experience I've left down here. Don't mind me, people. Or, do. Whichever works for you. Do mind me, don't mind me, don't particularly care. But yeah, those guys are real fun to kill. I like them. I like them a lot. And let's gather some crap while we're here. And not getting ambushed by that horror thing. Ow, that's a skeleton. Stop being unpleasant. Because I can't really see. Because of all the experience. I knocked his head off. That's funny. Because of the appetite. There we go. That took forever. Oh, that's fun. I love finding appetite veins, and for no other reason than because that happens. But yeah, see that guy? Stay the hell away from him. Again, unless you're really far into Thaumcraft and have some kind of protection against him. Because otherwise, he will wreck your shit. So I think that's going to have to be about it for this episode. I'm kind of running a bit low on time, unfortunately. You know, I think their spawn rate is determined by the banners here, because they used to spawn like 4 or 5 at a time. There were 2 banners there. But now that there's only 1, there's like 1 of them at a time. So, yeah. And they seem to, for the most part, ignore you unless you attack them. So, you know, they're not hostile per se. They're more like spiders in daytime. They're not much of a threat to you unless you start whacking at them. So, I mean, you're just kind of gathering the magnetite here. We're gonna need, like I said, a lot of it once we start working with our plans for a fusion reactor. Because making those permanent magnets, hideously expensive. Like, seriously. But once you start making millions of RF per tick, it's well worth the expense, let me tell you. Because that's just awesome. Awesome, awesome. So, I think this is going to be me signing off on this episode 17. Join me next time when I will hopefully have all of our shit together for making our hydroelectric generators, or hydrokinetic, excuse me, for our hydrokinetic generators, which we will then use to power our kind of cheaty, kind of exploity little bedrock breaker. To make bedrocky, gonna make, you know, bedrocky things, like shafts and gears. So again, I'll see you guys later, and remember, have fun, peoples.